to the World Ministries welcomes you to another teaching by Ralphena is well qualified to share the message you're about to hear, as she lives the principles she teaches daily. As you listen, we trust this message will encourage you, help you grow, and develop into maturity as a believer in the kingdom of God. The word you don't know is the word that cannot help you, and the word that doesn't take root can never bring a harvest. Let this message take root in the ground of your heart as you listen to it over and over and take notes. Receive this message. Receive your harvest.
Oh, hi, it's Ralphena. How are you? I'm so glad to be with you again today. I guess I left off last time, and I just want to finish talking to you about the seriousness of our culture and how we are now just saturated with images. You got beautiful women that have covered themselves in markings from bloodletting tattoos. You have children that have a desire for tattoos. You got people that encourage children with fake and stick-on tattoos to think that having a tattoo is a goal or ambition in life, to have a different kind of thing. And when I think about the different kinds, my Lord, we can start with the butterflies and the bumblebees and the dolphins and all the animals the enemy would like you to wear so that you don't know. You said, Mr. Ralphena, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the place in the Bible in Leviticus chapter 19 that tells you don't eat blood and don't cut yourself so that their blood leaves your body. I tell you that the Bible in Genesis chapter 1 tells you that God made man in his own image, which means he made man in the spirit image. Man was not a physical being when God made him, because God is not a physical being. But God did make a man in chapter 2, verse 7, a physical shell for the man to live in. So he took the spirit man that he made and he put it inside a human, natural being, which was made of dirt. And after he formed this image of the man to live on the earth out of dirt, and he put the human, the spirit part in the man, he breathed into the man's nostrils the breath of life. And I'm telling you that I believe the breath of life is blood. The concept of living. The Bible says that the life is in the blood. And so until that life was put in man, he was not a living, thriving being. And I'm telling you right now, the enemy wants you to shed blood with tattoos. I've seen young women covered with tattoos. Please don't do that. Please ask God's forgiveness and break its power. Don't let the enemy keep telling you. You think of some of the things that they tattoo on your body. Go in the tattoo parlor and look around. How many wonderful, beautiful, kind things are there? Oh, you might see a cross with Jesus or your mama or a rose or something. But the vast majority is dragons and skulls and flames and monsters and creatures and tongues and just all kinds of big long tongue coming out of an ugly mouth and all kinds of images of types of fixations that we have with the occult and with the kinds of things that bring us to a place where we're willing to accept the mermaid and the unicorn and the mythologies, the gods that stand equal to God or greater. Oh, the God of the sun, the God of the moon, God of the night, God of the day, God of the rain, God of the fire. God. See, all of those things are lies so that you never experience and appreciate and humble yourself to the only true and living God. The Bible calls him the Most High God. It didn't say he was the only God. It said he was the Most High. He's the only living God. All these other things have been separated from the earth realm because at some point in time they are recorded to have died. But we have a God that lives, and he lives so that we might have intercession with him through Jesus Christ. Somebody that's praying for us and speaking in our behalf. Some lawyer that's in the court of justice in our behalf asking for a stay of execution and getting it for us. None of us have to be executed in darkness. We can come into a place of light, and God's blessing can be on our lives. Those of you who are fathers, don't encourage your sons. Try to talk to them about not covering their bodies with markings, because that mark will hold them in that state of mentality, that state of reality, that state of maturity. You got marks on you that you got when you were 14. Well, you think about it when you're 28, that don't represent you no more. Well, you stuck with the image of it, and Satan can use that to hold you back to that 14-year state of stupidity. Oh, come on, guys. We have let the earth and all the beauty of it be taken out from under our feet and delivered into the hands of darkness. Demons are being manifest every single day, all day long. And we have movies that talk about demons and creatures and monsters and ghouls and vampires and werewolves and, witches and warlocks and all the different types of occultic thinking that separates us from God. God said, don't deal with the people. Don't look at don't go to the woman that reads your palm. Don't want to look in a crystal ball. Don't do a Ouija board. Don't go talk to the whole hands and do a seance, the necromancer. Don't try to have sex with the dead. We're looking at situations now where there are things in movies that show you men having sex with animals. Or when you see the goat standing in the back of a background that don't belong there, or a sheep. What is the sheep in the commercial for? What is the goat getting off the bus with the college students for? What is it going in the frat house for? What's the reason for it? It's implying that it is a place where you can satisfy yourself because sex is so important to you. But everybody knows that when you really start to feel like that's all you're good for, it's not enough. It's a heartbreaking thing to know that your body's been used to make somebody feel satisfied, but you as the person have no value to them. Oh, it's a terrible day we live in. And so here we are. We got the naked booty cheeks and the breasts and the nipples and all the crotches and the genitals tattooed on your body to remind you of the state of lunacy you were in at that moment. And now you are stuck with it. You got a girl's name tattooed on, now you're married, and that's not your wife's name. That's not your husband's name that you got tattooed on you. But your husband got to look at that name forever. He got to deal with the fact that you went through some kind of state where you didn't get it. And so you did something permanent in a temporary state of lunacy. Oh, come on. Our time is tearing us away from goodness and decency, cleanliness. Oh, there's no desire to be clean. There's no desire for a young girl to be ladylike anymore. We want to be sitting somewhere with our legs crossed where someone can look all the way up our dress to almost to the trim of our underwear if we were wearing any. We're doing that to our young girls. You got young girls that don't know what to do, so they're watching you. And you're deceived into thinking wearing a dress that's too tight is making you sexy. We got people that call a hot dog sexy. We want to keep that word just floating around. Sexy, sexy, sexy. And as a result of it, we have donated our lives and our souls to perpetuation of sex. And sex is the worst thing in the world when there's no feeling, no love, no intimacy. Sex is just, having sex means somebody's coming to get something from you. It doesn't mean somebody's coming to give something to you. I'm thinking, God help us. Don't do tattoos. Whatever you do, if you got tattoos, don't do anymore. Oh, that's so old-fashioned. That's the style, the trend. I know. But there's nothing good about the trends and the styles of today. Nothing. Our people are being undermined and sabotaged by the concepts of this new age and time. I want to help you. I want to help you. I want you to start to think of all the things that you can hear. I saw a movie. Oh, maybe, I guess I saw this movie on television maybe a week ago, and it's been on before. I've seen it before. And the movie is called Coach Carter. Now, Coach Carter's movie is a story. It's based on a true living experience of a man who lived in a certain town in California, Richmond, California, and who went to a high school and was an alumni of that high school that had developed, he had just used that time while he was in high school to develop a reputation for himself of being an achiever, a hard worker. And he'd been on a basketball team, and he stayed in the town and went into business. He went to college, he came back, and he went to lived in that place where he was raised and perpetuated his life, and got involved in helping the present coach of the school where he went to school, help him with the basketball team. Basketball team, undisciplined. Some of them had a few little skills, but basically they were just coarse, vulgar, undisciplined boys who liked playing basketball but refused to be responsible for any of their behaviors and thinkings under the assumption that being the basketball star was enough. So he takes on this job, and as a result of him taking on the job, he starts to force them to start to look at themselves from another perspective. I realize we got kids that they don't want to study in school because they're going to the NBA. Not true. You might as well tell your son the truth. You're not going to the NBA. How are you going to the NBA? You in the bed in the summertime till 12 o'clock. So when are you practicing on your skills? Are you on with the headphones in your ears all day? I mean, how many balls do you shoot a day? If you're going to go someplace and be among the best, you got to work at it so that you can compete and represent yourself in the company of the best. And the only way you get to be really good at something is you got to work at it. Talent is not enough. You got to have an ethic of work and discipline to do something and stay focused and work at it and put your best forward and work at developing and becoming better. Oh, that's the only way. That's the only way. But anyway, he had to fight him, make him go to class. He had to make him study. He had to make him do drills. He had to teach him the concepts of basketball all over again, and force them to see themselves as a team and not as a bunch of individual superstars that they thought they were anyway. The point of the thing is at this point, there's a point in the movie after he sees that they're not doing anything other than basketball. They're not students. They're just athletes at a school. And student athlete is what they're supposed to be. So he set the team down and refused to let them play until they went and took the seriousness of their classes to heart and started to work at fulfilling the obligation, because they signed a contract with him that they do good grades, not just basketball, that they do good grades, and they'd respond to their exposure to the people with an excellent image and of student athletes, and so they hadn't kept their word, and so he set the team down. And while the team was in the library studying, he walks through the gym, and there's this song that comes out. And this song, and there were about 8 or 9 words that the people on the song said. And the song said, intimidation, limitation, incarceration, humiliation. And I listened to that, and I realized all the words that we are, that's all around us that have an effect on how life treats us. And we don't even understand how it's going to work. We're just stumbling. You can have definite course of decision and deliberate plans to go to a certain place. And you can plan to go in a place that's good for you, or you can make deliberate plans and you'll go to a place that's bad for you. One of the characters in the movie had left the team because he was forced to study, and had an incident happen that forced him to start to look at his own situation, and he went back to the team. If you've never seen Coach Carter, you need to see that. You need to see that. It's a good movie. But that night, when I saw that movie, it's like all these words just welled up in me of all the ways and places we can be in our lives and going through the situations we have in life, not realizing that some of it's going to be good and some of it's going to be bad, and we can avoid the bad. We can make choices and decisions and do things in a way that helps us do things good. So I wrote down intimidation. That ain't good. You're intimidated, that ain't good. Limitation, that ain't good. Incarceration, that's not good. Equation. Well, what are you adding up to? What's the sum of what you're becoming? Mutilation, not good. Concentration, that's a good one. That's a good one. Elimination, that's not good, because you may be on the end of the elimination. Education, that's good. Aspiration, that's good. Articulation. We're the only people that don't speak our only language. 90% of our people, when they use the word ask, they use the word ask. The word is A-S-K, ask. And people will discount you and mistreat you and disrespect you because you say the word incorrectly. Oh, Miss Ralphena, you in my business. I know. That's my job. That's the only job I have. Is getting in your face and getting you in the business. Ask. That's the word. Quit saying ask like you can't talk. You can. God has given you a mind. Use it. Evacuation. Not good. Stimulation. Now that's one of the words that can be either, you can either be stimulated for good or stimulated for bad. Manipulation. That's always negative. When someone has to manipulate you and twist you around and deceive you to get you to do. Appreciation. Most of us don't have enough appreciation for what we have, where we are, what we're doing, what we've got, where we're going, where we've been. You don't appreciate where you've been. You've been in trouble? Appreciate that. You're smarter now. At least you should be. Anticipation. That's a great thing. Consolation. I'm here to console you and tell you no matter where you are, something can happen for you. You have to get a different thinking about who you are. Impartation. Something can come in your thinking and help you. You are imparted to. Oh, wow, I received it. Imagination. Most of us have imaginings that take us someplace and keep us locked down in some kind of negative hole where we thinking something we've seen is great. So we go somewhere and we dye our hair 4 colors and cover ourselves with markings, and we somewhere standing up looking like we're confused about who we are and what our worth is, because we've imagined that somebody else's condition made them better off than we're in. Information. We always need information. Information. Don't you want to know? You ought to want to know. You not be the last to know. People talking and they use a word you don't know. Find it. Go get a dictionary and look it up. Multiplication. That's not just adding to something. That's exponentially adding to it. We got people that don't know their times tables. And you went to school. How dare you? Learn your times tables. It'll expand your mind and help you. Gestation. The period that you are in a protected, healthy place. Gestation of a child's life is in the womb. Supposed gestation of an adult is in the home of the parent, a responsible parent that's teaching them and just disciplining them and teaching them and disciplining them and teaching them and loving them, so that when they get to be an adult, they have an ability to function independently without feeling as though somebody owes them something. Degradation. We've sunk to a place where it's real all around us. Annihilation. We're annihilating ourselves. Our children are killing each other on the street. We're robbing and raping and abusing ourselves. We're using drugs and drinking too much. And we're doing all the things. We're annihilating our youth, our strength, our capabilities, our talents. Suffocation. We're dying under the weight and inability to breathe good air because we've been willing to settle for less than good air. Starvation. So many people are not just starving physically, they're starving for love, they're starving for help, they're starving for encouragement. Consideration. Oh, that's a very serious thing. We need to consider how blessed we are. Most of us don't do it. Ventilation means there's got to be some place for something to come in that gives us fresh new ideas, for something to come into our lives that'll give us a new breath. Inhalation, to take it in. It can come in. We can be in a ventilated place, but if we don't inhale, we won't get it. Don't sit in church every Sunday where the atmosphere is being ventilated with truth and love and light, and you won't inhale it in, so you leave church still not loving God, still not saved, still not clean, still not delivered, still not happy. How are you in a marriage with somebody that's trying to love you, and you won't inhale the love in? What are we doing? Plantation. Good and bad. It's possible to plant a good crop. It is possible to plant a bad one. That's up to you. Consideration. Aggravation. Man, have we got things that are designed to aggravate us. Calculation. We should be keeping up with our situation. Keep up with your money. Don't have to be the last one to know what happens to your money. Keep up with your money. Calculate what you're doing with your money. Calculate what you're doing with your time. Calculate what you're doing with your energy. Calculate the kind of good things that have happened as a result of dealing with this person or dealing with that person. Man, calculate. Figure out where you are. Figure out where you want to go. Figure out what it's going to take you to get there. Figure out what you got to quit doing so that you're not hindered from going. Interpretation. It's too much of that. Well, we don't know, so we just interpret it without little limited understanding, without pursuing any wisdom. Occupation. There are people who don't want no occupation. They just want to sit around and enjoy themselves. Pleasure. Pleasure seekers, pleasure freaks. They're the worst people to be around because they will deceive you into thinking there's something good about just sitting up in pleasure all the time. I'm going to be high all the time. Well, okay. But somebody got to feed you, and then somebody got to clean up the mess you make. Strangulation. It's being in the company of some situation that's cutting off your wind. You trying to get it, but you being strangled. You can be strangled in a relationship. You can be strangled by ignorance, by lack of credentials. You need to be trying to go someplace and develop skills. You need to be looking for a way to learn. You cannot allow somebody to strangle you from the opportunities that come and developing your skill. You need to work at it. When you find something trying to cut your wind off, you got to fight it. Vibration. A word that's been twisted around so now it's got all kind of occultic meanings because there is a vibration in the realms of our lives. And most of us are responding to the vibration that's designed to keep us inferior to what we were designed to be. Visitation. Man, if you're in prison, you know how important that is, huh? If you're locked down, you know a visit makes all the difference in the world. Well, let me help you. Here's God all around you, making available to you an opportunity to receive a visit from Him through His word, His love, through the people He sends across your path. Visitation is a wonderful thing where all of a sudden, in your presence, is the beaming, wonderful, cleansing, encouraging, strengthening love of God. Let God visit you. Liquidation. Breaking your stuff down to the lowest common denominator. Well, I don't need this TV. I don't need these shoes. I'm going down to just one pair of socks, one pair of shoes, and a can of sardines. That may be a bad thing. It may be a good thing. But usually when you're liquidating, it's bad. Purification. There's only one way to do it. There's only one way to do it. It's just release everything you have hold to it and give God all the praise and ask him to take charge. Receive his forgiveness from your repentance and allow him to purify your heart. 51 chapter of the book of Psalms says, give me a clean heart, a new heart, a clean heart. What do I need purification from? I need purification from fornication, from masturbation, from prostitution. I need it from all those things. Oh, did she say masturbation on TV? I sure did. They say everything else. You don't want me to talk about the fact that you're in a state where you allow some image to come in your mind to bring you some sexual gratification that leaves you strung out someplace, feeling some kind of relief and abandonment, uncleanness. Oh, you don't have to go there. You don't have to live there. You can, but you don't have to. Because there is no substitution. The only solution is God. I love being given this opportunity because hopefully I say things that make you think. Hopefully I say things that embarrass you, but if you're looking, maybe you're by yourself, so you don't have to be so embarrassed. But I want you to think about where you are and where you're headed. I want you to get a clean, smooth wall. And I want you to look down at where your feet are facing right now. And I want you to see coming out of your feet some tracks, like it's a train. And I want you to look at that smooth wall, and I want you to think of where are you headed on the tracks you're on right now. Where are these tracks going to take you? Start to be honest with yourself. Is this where I want to go? Is this what I want to do? If it's not, just cry out to the Lord and say, oh, God, help me. I don't want to be on this track. I don't want to go there. I don't want to end up there. I don't want to find myself there. I want to go someplace better than there. I want your mercy. I ask you to forgive me. I need help. If I could do better, I would do. But I can't, not without your assistance, not without you coming in, taking charge. You cry out to God. I don't care how you do it. Do it the best way you can. And I guarantee you, he'll hear you and he'll answer you. And when he answers you, he'll take you to a new place. I feel like the blessings of God is on my life because I did that very thing. I cried out and asked for help. He's no respecter of persons. If he did it for me, he'll do it for you. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Ooh.